Great decorating is all about the details, including a gorgeous textured set of coasters. How we love a coaster. Functional. And why not be beautiful? Quince has a gorgeous set of woven rattan coasters in 3 terrific colors with their own little holder that you're going to absolutely love. And if you haven't visited quince.com/DTT yet, get on over there. It's everyday elevated living without the markup. From crisp 100% linen bedding and soft organic cotton towels to airy curtains and premium kitchen tools designed for everyday use. And the best part? Like Quince's clothing, their home goods are half the cost of similar brands. By partnering with top artisans, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. Elevate your space with home essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. Anita and I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. And while we celebrate with family and friends, we're offering up some DTT classics. Enjoy.
Welcome to the podcast. This is Decorating Tips and Tricks, Alternative Christmas Colors.
Okay, so who out there wants to go alternative? Who's a traditionalist? Who's open to hearing some new ideas? Anita, I know you definitely are in the alternative camp and have been for a long time. Am I right?
Well, I don't like being told what to do. That's probably
as you know that I like to move around a lot. I know that about you. I try to tell her what to do.
Well, she does. Trust me.
I do. Every day I try.
She does crack the whip. So I don't like being told what to do. And the thing with the Christmas colors is we're told the colors are green and red. And I don't really care for the traditional green and red together. And so I've kind of been one of those people that said, you can't tell me what to do. You are not the boss of me. I am not going to do green and red because I don't like them together. So that's kind of been my approach from the beginning. But then I did a little research to kind of figure out, well, where did this whole green and did I say green and blue? Red. No,
you didn't. You just said green.
The green and the red. So where did this come from? Because I did a little research and because I thought maybe it was from the Victorians because so much of, and this would be a great
They were
podcast.
bossy.
Well, yeah.
They like to tell people what to do.
There's so many traditions that we have now that are from the Victorian times. And I think that would be a fun podcast because it will blow your mind if you know how many things that we do now.
Okay, I'm going to write that down. That would be fun.
Okay, so I thought it was the bossy Victorians, but because they did do a lot of red and green, but then they also did blue and green and red and white and blue and white. So they had a lot of different colors that they used. So it turns out it was not the Victorians. Well, so I did find out that around 1931, Coca-Cola, does this ring a bell? Hired an artist to create a Santa for their advertising.
Oh, that Santa is, he's quintessential.
Before
iconic. What's the word?
1931, Santa had all these different names, and sometimes he was tall and skinny, sometimes he was short and fat, sometimes he wore blue, sometimes he wore red.
Sometimes he's Saint Nicholas.
Right. So there was not a lot of continuity. Well, this ad came out in 1931 and it was the quintessential. It's what you think of as Santa Claus now, fat
chubby,
and jolly,
rosy
red,
cheeks,
white fur.
Oh, I bet everybody that's listening to this has conjured that image. That Santa face.
And why red? Because red goes with their logo.
Yeah. Because Coca-Cola is red.
Right. So that's where the red and green came from. So this was all a marketing ploy. So now don't you feel like we've been duped all this time?
Don Draper did it. My husband always says that, it's like the Hallmark holidays. And he's like, this is a Don Draper holiday. Like this this wasn't a holiday. Like you don't need to give a card on Valentine's Day. I think maybe you do, but he doesn't think you do. So does everybody know what I'm talking about when I say Don Draper? This is the guy from Mad Men, right? So it was they were coming up with these campaigns, and this is 1931 predated them, but it was already happening then. That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Right. So the reason I wanted to tell you that is because I find that information is power. So now you know it was all a marketing ploy for Coca-Cola. So unless you're really tied in with Coca-Cola, guess what? You can do whatever you want.
Right. Right. So if you were thinking that these came from the Wayback Machine, that, from in the manger, it was declared it was red and green, or, the Victorians declared it was red or green. Nope. It was on Madison Avenue.
Right. So the green, it's found in holly and mistletoe. The Romans exchanged evergreen branches in January as a sign of good luck. And the ancient Egyptians brought in palm branches during the winter festivals. So the green does have tradition this time of year. But the red,
and of course, the Tannenbaum, the O Tannenbaum.
Yes, exactly. And then the red from the berries, obviously. But there's so many other traditional colors, like the gold, which represents the gold brought by the wise men. Or I guess they didn't bring gold, but it represents the wise men, I should say. And then blue is associated with Mary, the mother of Jesus.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So there's all these colors. But so now, so let's talk about what colors. What are your favorite?
Okay, so now
colors?
that you've really freed us up, wow, everybody's like, open to maybe some new things if you like it. I mean, it's totally great to love the traditional colors, whether you like them all year round or whether or not you really like to bust them out at Christmas. That's great too, and that feels like Christmas to you. This information is not meant to make you feel like, I shouldn't do that. This is just to open up your eyes to some new alternatives.
Well, right. So if you like it, hey, we're all use the decorating style that you love. So if that's what you love, go for it. But if not, hey, let's talk about some other options. And one of my favorites right now is to use a lot of purples and blues and pinks. And I know some of the pastels are beautiful. I kind of like to pick a particular palette and go with that kind of throughout the house each year so that it all kind of goes together.
Right. And do you switch it every year? Or is it like, these are my Christmas purples and pinks and blues? Or every year do you start with a new palette?
Well, it depends on what the sponsors have sent me.
Oh, my God. Well, okay then.
Well,
Well, I guess if Coca-Cola sent you something, you'd be right back where we started.
Yes, that's
funny.
Right. I don't like being told what to do, but I'm also very honest. So yes, it kind of depends on what I've got coming in. But I have some beautiful ornaments that are in the silvers and the grays and the blues that I love.
Right. Okay. Well, left to your own devices.
Yes.
Nita Jean, what alternative Christmas colors would you choose?
That's probably it. The pinks, the purples, the blues, and I love the silvers and gold. A lot of those colors are just so, and because you need something sparkly around Christmas time, you want something to kind of reflect the light of all your Christmas lights on the tree. So I think definitely you need some gold or silver, mercury glass or something like that.
We'll talk about that. Talk about sparkly and something like that. A couple of years ago, when we first moved into this house, and we were in the midst of really, really, really hardcore renovation. I think I talked about that Christmas tree that we did with just the loved ones' names on the little hearts and whatnot. We just really were simplifying, but I couldn't even bring a real tree in. So that year I ordered a tree, and it was my first faux. And I was like, if I'm going to get a faux, I'm going all the way. So I got this metallic, like platinum colored tree. I love it, you guys. It is so beautiful.
Like a silver tree?
Yes.
Oh, like retro, kind of 1960s.
Right. It's almost like,
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's fuller than one of as you would picture, like one of those tinsel trees. It's about, it's got to be like 7.5 feet tall.
Oh my goodness. Oh, see, I love
That's
those
the one
trees.
I put in the kitchen normally. And I use, so I love, its colors are so pretty. And then when you put the white lights on it, just like, it's like having gazillion little mirrors because it sparkles all over the place. And then I usually use, I'm pretty much maybe not a traditionalist in the sense of colors or whatnot, but I do like to use very similar things every year. It just feels like Christmas to me, and that's what my girls are used to, and they like that, particularly my younger one.
Traditions.
Yeah. And so now it's like, even though it's just been 3 years that we've been in this house, this will be the third time we're putting this tree in the kitchen, and it just goes really nicely. But I'm doing, so it's a platinum kind of, I thought it was going to be more goldy, but I actually love it even more. It's more platinum. So it's like a champagne-y color.
Oh, that really sounds beautiful.
It's so pretty. And it's from Treetopia. And we can put a link in there. They have all sorts of colors. But then I put gold, shiny bright ornaments. So I have the vintage going on. And then I put burlap to kind of, the juxtaposition of the sparkly and the burlap. Love that. So that's pretty alternative for me, because and my normal family tree, it's usually the reds and the greens, and that's just what we've collected over the years. So I'm definitely using that on that particular tree.
Well, and I actually have a hot pink tree like that's short.
Ooh.
It's maybe about 3 feet tall, that I bought to go on I don't know what I bought it for. It was probably a discount, but it's so cute. I love that. And I have, a collection of little ornaments that I picked up that we've inherited. And I like to put that on that tree. And then I have like some pink garland that's kind of sparkly that I like to put on it. So it's really pretty. It's just fun.
Yeah. And it's going with your palette, and it's just a fun little thing that you can, decorate in a different little way. I think that's really nice.
And one year I was kind of on this Scottish bent, and I bought a bunch of tartan ribbon that I used all over the house. It's kind of more the reds, the blues, and the greens. And those, if you plaid you can get here, but if you're going for specific tartans, you really have to buy them from the UK, which is what I did. But it was really fun kind of looking at all the tartans and finding my favorite ones. So that was really fun to do and to use one year. So really kind of, and for a long time, my decorating I would go shop for ribbon. And when I would find a ribbon, that would set the tone for that year. And that would be the color that I used.
That's interesting. Okay.
And I would use that ribbon everywhere. It went all over the house.
Oh, that's smart. And if you're doing plaid is such a sort of a wintry look, right? And it is very traditional around the holiday time. So I do too. And even if you're using it in non-traditional colors, I think the fact that it's a plaid or a tartan still evokes the holidays and the wintertime and all of that.
I think it definitely does.
Right? So even if you did it in grays and blues and pinks and stuff, it still really works. I'm seeing a lot of plaid this year. I know the Williams-Sonoma catalog came and it was all plaid. Pottery Barn was lots and lots of plaid. Yeah, I think that the plaids are really, really hot this year. So that's a great idea. If somebody just found a couple of spools of ribbon that they loved, use that on your tree, use it on your packages, tie it on the top, tie it around some ornaments or drape it across your mantle. There's lots of ways to bring it in.
Last year, I got this gorgeous copper beaded ribbon from Balsam Hill. I know. Yeah, you were on that tour with me. It was so beautiful. I used the ribbon so carefully and wrapped it up so that I didn't use it again this year.
I'm just gonna save this one. Like they'll be like, "Do we bury her with this ribbon? Like, just use it." What are we saving it for? It's ribbon.
Well, I didn't. Well, but it's really wide. It's not really it's so elegant. I mean, it's not really something you would put on a package. It's really for decorating.
Yeah. It's just beautiful.
Stunning. So, yes.
And we're going to talk about, I think we have on our list, how to create a stunning Christmas tree. And we'll give you some ideas of how to use that kind of wide ribbon on your tree, which is there's little tricks to that.
And then the other thing that's beautiful, if you're going for the ribbon, and using that, whether it's traditional colors or not, the velvet ribbon is just stunning to use. And I kind of am in love with that. I have some pinks and some blues in the velvet ribbon. So you could go with that in a wider one. And if you don't know how to make, it's really easy to make the bows with the ribbon and the wire. It's so easy to do. So, it's nice to just kind of put that on the newel post or hang it from your chandeliers. I mean, it's just so pretty. And then, or put a bow on the back of your chairs.
Yeah.
The ribbon can go everywhere. And that's the beauty of, if you do pick a color, go get some ribbon in your color and just use it liberally throughout your house. I think you're going to really love the way it integrates that color throughout all the rooms of your house.
Right. So you're creating the flow that we like to have in our normal decorating with this ribbon, instead of going by, oh, new pillows or a new throw, you're just taking that ribbon color and you're carrying it throughout and you're tucking it in here and there and then bringing it all around. So that's such depending on how much ribbon you need or what kind of price point your ribbon is, could be a very inexpensive way to decorate. And then cut some greens and bam, you could be done. Some other alternative color combinations for Christmas could be just green and brown. I mean, that it kind of can be very woodlandy and can also be done in a way where there's not a lot of extra frou-frou. It can be very simplified, kind of like a woodland Christmas. And I think that's really sharp together. I mean, you've got some of the browns and naturally, obviously in pine cones and things like that. Obviously the green is coming in with a tree or garlands. And that can be a really simple and really elegant way to decorate.
Well, and yes. And the thing about the red and the green, I love red and green. I'm just not so crazy about them together. So I love to use red around Christmas time. In fact, I just set a Christmas table for one of our blog tours, and I had these huge pomegranates, and I had found some red and white English transferware plates that were probably from about 1850.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. I can't stop using dupe.com. This is an amazing website, service, best friend. I absolutely love it. So you find something that you really want and it's too expensive. It's a budget buster. Then you use dupe.com and you can find almost the exact thing or very similar products for much less. So I was crushing on this incredibly gorgeous coffee table. I had it in my mind. I had it in my Pinterest boards. I had it everywhere, but I just didn't have it in my house because it was too expensive. When I learned about dupe.com, that was the first product that I tested. And boy, did I find some amazing dupes. And I purchased one. So the original was almost $3,000. And dupe showed me many choices, all the way down to under $200. Now, you may think something this extraordinary is hard to use, but it's so easy. Just type dupe.com/ before any product URL in your browser, and boom, it instantly finds you less expensive alternatives. They even have an app and a browser extension you can download. No account required, no sign up required. It's completely free. That's completely free free to use. Stop wasting your money on brand names and start saving with dupe.com today. If you haven't already, this is a perfect time of year to start listening to the Lisa Show podcast. Lisa is sharing some wonderful holiday-inspired episodes that I know you're going to enjoy. The Lisa Show is a self-help, life help, and inspiration chat show that feels like having lunch with your best friends. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll come away feeling ready to face the world and the holidays. Hosted by comedian, actress, writer, mother, and solo parent of 5, Lisa Valentine Clark, this podcast offers a mix of humor, life insights, and motivational topics. When Lisa lost her husband to ALS, friends saved her life. And so a goal of the Lisa Show is to provide that same support to others who need it. The Lisa Show is for anyone interested in learning and laughing more, those wanting to be part of the solution to make life better for ourselves and those around us, and for anyone wanting more positivity, humor, and real talk in their lives. You can find The Lisa Show anywhere you get your podcast. Tune in. You're going to enjoy it.
I think white with any color is a beautiful combination. White and red, white and purple, white and blue.
I just love white. And I love, well, I have, I'm working on my white garden. Someday it'll be the way I want it, but we're building the garden from scratch, but just the white flowers. So you could add things like either faux or real, white magnolias, white roses, so many beautiful white flowers around this time. The paper whites, white amaryllis, just something as simple as that, a growing flower, a plant, a bulb, can make such a spectacular presence in your Christmas decorating, and pair that with maybe a metallic, gold or silver or both. That is so beautiful.
Well, and if you're wanting to, if you kind of like to change up your colors all the time, maybe you don't want to invest a lot in a specific color. I would say the whites and the silvers are probably pretty safe, and because you can mix those with about anything.
Right.
So you could invest in some nice white and silver things, mercury glass,
right.
But I love too at Christmas time, I like some fun colors like a chartreuse green. I love seeing something like that. Or one year I had a bottle brush trees in a turquoise that were really pretty.
Oh my God, my heart just beats faster with those little trees.
Those
little bottle brush trees. They're just so charming. Even the repros are good these days.
Well, mine were all repros.
Yeah, because I mean, they're hard. When you find the vintage ones that haven't been sort of somewhat smoshed, you're really lucky. But the repros are really pretty good, and they're so inexpensive. And how charming are these? Here's a color combination that makes me think of, and it makes me sad to say her name, but Kate Spade, Kelly green, baby blue, and white. Like for whatever reason, that color combination for Christmas makes me. Her name comes to mind. Just sort of crisp and clean, and you could maybe add in if I was doing that color combination, I might make it like really sharp and have boxwood and mix with the Kelly green, like maybe, or even you could have the Kelly green slide into maybe like you're saying, like maybe a citron-y color or something like that. I think that would be so cool, so fresh, but still Christmassy.
Well, I do have a public service announcement because it's going on as of this of our recording. I don't know when it's going to end, but the surprise sale at Kate Spade, the 75% off, is actually going on right now.
Wow,
I stay on top of those
that's
sales.
Your holiday.
I know. I've already bought my holiday.
What will we get for Christmas?
Yes. Well, yes. That's where. Usually it's something from there. But yeah. So it's surprise.kate. It's surprise. I think surprise.katespade.com. So, but you sign up for emails and you'll get notifications.
Right.
Trust me. You'll thank me.
Yes. Your pocketbook might not thank you.
Well, but it's 75%.
But your new purse will thank you.
Yeah,
but your wallet might not. Okay, so everybody, I am full throttle grays. I love grays. And I really truly believe gray is here to stay. And I think that you agree. So since a lot of us have grays, or we want to have grays, how about gray, gold, silver, and a winter white? For your Christmas palette.
Oh, sure. And I mean, you can really do a neutral Christmas if you want. I think that's a stunningly gorgeous look too. And that's kind of what I was saying. If you kind of invest in gold, in silver and white, then you can mix in another color, and change that other color, or just do without and just go with your white and silver and perhaps even some gold in there. I think that's a very classic, gorgeous look.
Right. And these are great ideas particularly with the metallics, as Anita's saying. Like you can, if you feel like you want to add some new decor pieces in, it doesn't have to be the red and green Santa that's going to be out for a week or two and then go away and not to be seen until next year. Yeah. Purchase things like gold candlesticks, brass candlesticks, mercury glass, all sorts of things like this. Something filigreed gold that you can keep up all year. Maybe you're not going to keep it en masse because it will seem like a little too much over the top when it's not the holidays, but you can keep candlesticks and things like that around all year long. So it's not just this sort of, one-time purchase.
Well, I think that's the thing too for me. The red and green seems so Christmassy that the day after Christmas, it feels I feel out of sorts seeing green and red after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's even. But if it's different colors, it seems okay to me.
Right. And because those are not, if your colors are red and green, you might be like, wow, this looks so great. I'm leaving it up all year. But, if you're working in Anita's type of palette, or even a more neutral palette, or a palette that has a lot of grays, as we're saying, a newer look, then maybe that red and green tree is sort of like, exactly what you're saying. Like, it's great for its purpose, but now it's time to go and I need to get back to sort of normalcy. Last year, we did not put up our family tree. There was some confusion with what was going on with one of the blog tours. There was supposed to be a tree arriving. Long story is we didn't end up getting a real tree at all. Oh, gorgeous faux tree from Balsam Hill came, and all the ornaments and everything. And it was a show tree. It was not my family tree. The family ornaments, I kept taking the bins and moving them around. Like, where am I going to put these? It's not happening. My one daughter was very sad. I have to say, part of me, when I was done with it, the tree suited my decor so well. I mean, I was just like, this is the most beautiful tree ever. Like, I cannot even, and it just went with the room, and it just looks so beautiful all together.
That's interesting. The tree I got when you got yours, the Balsam Hill, and I got these ornaments from them as well. The silvers and the golds and all these. It was so beautiful, and it went, like you said, with my house so well that I wanted to leave that tree up for a lot longer than I normally do.
Yes. But
that's what I'm saying. It really was so stunningly beautiful.
Right. But here's my caveat to that. And maybe because my kid, and your daughters enjoy it as well. My kids are, just a little tick younger. And one of them in particular is very, very traditionalist and wanted to see all the things.
Oh,
it was a little after I put it up and the initial oh, this is so beautiful. I can't believe these ornaments. I just can't wait to take pictures of this and put it on my blog. Then I felt like it was like just a little too much of a show tree. Oh, it wasn't like I wasn't taking out the ornament. Oh, Peter and I got this when we got engaged. Oh, this is the one Ava picked out when she was, 3 and we were at the aquarium, even though it's a dolphin.
It's not that. Yeah, another tree. Well, and actually, Evie gave my tree the highest compliment that a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old could give. She said, "Mom, it looks like a mall Christmas tree."
Yes, they did. They were beautiful. But, so if you're hankering for the traditional tree with your family ornaments on it, who cares what color you normally have in your house? Put that up. We are doing that this year. We're back to it. But because we're kooky and we've got them, we're putting up like 2 or 3 other trees too. Yes. That's just the way it rolls, around here. But I think, going off the road a little bit with the Christmas colors is such a great idea. And it makes it, it makes it fun too. Well, and
I think the thing is, be creative. Don't feel boxed in. Be creative and come up with what is meaningful to you.
Because nobody's the boss of you either.
No, doggone it. And if you want red and green, then you do red and green.
Exactly. We do have a question today. We're loving doing these questions, and we've gotten such a great response from everybody that you guys are enjoying them as well. So we're going to keep doing that until we hear otherwise. So today our question is...
we may still keep doing them anyway.
Because you're not the boss of us. See, I told you can't tell her what to do. Okay, so it's from Tammy B. And Tammy, we've had several emails from Tammy over the couple of years we've been doing this. It's almost 2 years, Nita Jane.
Hey, Tammy.
And so this particular question is about wall art. So Tammy's saying, how do you decide what to put on the walls? How many shapes? What do you put? Clocks, mirrors, canvases? She sent a photo, which we Anita and I can see, and we'll describe to you. And so Tammy
pretty
just wanted...
table runner too, by the way.
Very pretty table runner.
Beautiful tray she has on there. So
you want to describe the photo so everybody can...
Well, sure. It's kind of a putty colored wall and a neutral tile floor. There's a dark table and 4 chairs. It's a round table. And then she's got kind of a neutral colored... I don't know what to call that, but it's kind of a landscape of, I don't know if that's Paris or whatever, but it's kind of a sepia tone.
Yeah.
And then there is a large clock on the wall as well. It kind of looks like a watch bob.
Yeah, that's a cool clock.
Yeah.
And so cool the art is a rectangle on the vertical.
Portrait. Right.
Portrait.
Right. Nice big baseboards too, by the way. Lovely, Tammy.
There you go. So now, would you make any suggestions to Tammy based on that as to whether or not she should have that particular piece of art on the horizontal based on what she's got in that room. So remember, everybody, it's a round table with some chairs, and then this is a piece of art on the wall behind it.
So here's what I'm thinking. There's also a table behind the chairs, there's also kind of a console table, and it's in a corner. So the clock is kind of an alignment with the console table in the corner, and then there's a big piece of artwork on the table. And it's a nice size, which I love. I love the scale of the pieces that she chose. And obviously she's going for a monochrome look, which is great. So here's what I'm thinking. I feel like the two pieces don't feel like they go together. And I think this happens a lot when there's a big wall. People kind of chunk it in pieces, like, okay, I'm going to get this artwork for this area and this other work for this other area. But really looking at the picture, it's really seen as a whole. So I feel like that kind of needs to be seen as one area rather than two separate areas. So when you look at it as one whole, you have one big, large piece of artwork to the left and one small clock to the right. So it doesn't feel balanced to me. So I would say take the clock off and just go with one piece of artwork or a grouping, but that all goes together rather than two separate pieces like she's done. And then I get the monochromatic thing and I get the neutral thing. I might add a little more color in there though. I don't know. What do you think? But it's lovely shades in here. She's done a lovely job.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think the palette is really great. And I definitely agree with everything you're saying. I think the two pieces on their own are lovely and they are nice sized, which is great. But I definitely get the sense that the painting was supposed to be kind of talking to the round table, and the clock was supposed to be talking to that small little console table. And I think they all need to be in the conversation together. So I definitely agree with your assessment and suggestions there, Anita. So take it on as one big space. So do you think maybe doing something even bigger on the horizontal might fill that space?
Oh, I think that's a great idea. Yeah. And I'm just because I think that would be nice to do a horizontal piece there because the piece of artwork, I think you could definitely go wider. I mean, the table is wider than the piece.
Right.
And the thing that I would think about with the artwork too is to kind of try to think about what speaks to you and just try to go with what you love. I mean, and this is a charming kind of landscape piece that she has here of, a river and some houses there. So, just kind of think about if, I think that would be maybe great in another room if she wants to do that.
Right. You leave that there and then you put something on either side of it.
That's true.
You fill up the whole, you fill up the whole space by having three pieces. Yeah, it kind of does look, it almost looks like the same, doesn't it? It does look.
Yes, I think I didn't want to say that, but I think that is what that is. Yes.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to say, and this is in general, in Tammy's lovely photo, and I really do like the color of the wall, Tammy. Nice job. I'm seeing
pretty.
A thermostat and the light switches and all of that. That's hard to deal with on a wall like this as well, because it sort of limits her on the one side,
right?
To add
and I
a
have
third
that
piece,
too.
right?
Right, yeah. I've got that too, where I can't put curtains on some of the windows because there's this huge panel of electrical switches.
Right. So if you can, or if you're in the situation where your home is being built or renovated, I don't know why. They should give electricians and people like that, like HVAC guys, just like a couple, like they should listen to the podcast, like they should just have a few ideas of aesthetics. I have a funny quick story that I'll tell you in a minute about what happened here yesterday. But like that thermostat, unless it's cannot for whatever wiring reasons be moved, it should have been put really close to the edge of the wall, or even on the transition of the wall or something. Like you don't want to put it like all the way out there, where it's encroaching on the wall space that you might want to decorate. So that does make it a little challenging for Tammy to add three things there. But so I think that, what she's got going on, the scale is so great.
The
colors are lovely.
She got the scale spot on.
Right. So that might just be something you'd want to think about if you could, just keep in mind, where are these thermostats going?
I guess what I'm feeling like is I like to see a little bit of color in the room, but if it's not in the artwork, you could just add it on the table. So I didn't mean to say anything negative about the artwork, because I think the artwork is pretty.
Oh, no. I think it is. I don't think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe, I'm wanting, my eye is wanting to see a little bit of color somewhere in here.
Little pop.
Yeah, a little pop somewhere.
Just flowers from Trader Joe's. Smack in the middle.
There you go. Boom. Then you're done.
You're done.
I like that.
Okay, so my funny little story about just having, tradespeople have just a little sense. I mean, some do. And if you find one that does, hold on for dear life. Because I'm trying to get some things done here and where I'm podcasting up in the barn in the attic space, because my husband was on a business trip. So I wanted to have it all done. And so, this will be so great when he comes back and sees. So my electrician came yesterday, and it's like, okay, so you can hang this and then you're going to put one of those plug molds, those long pieces that I have in my kitchen, where you can put you can plug in so many things. It's like a long, what are those strips called? Like an outlet strip sort of thing, but it's actually attached to the wall and it works with an outlet. So I was like, yeah, just do it like you did in the kitchen, like tuck it up under.
I love that you did that. So cool.
So tuck it up under this desk that I've just created, this sort of built-in thing. Okay, great. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go pick up Laura from school. I'll be back in a little while. Okay, great. I come back. The thing is not, it was like a leftover piece too. So it's not even long enough for the space. So he's put it like smack in the middle between the floor and the top of the desk. So you can see it. And then when it's bad enough, and it's off to the side. It's not even in the center. Like, I'm starting to twitch. Like, I'm like, I can't believe you've been here for an hour and you did this. And then when you put the wires into it, then you'd see all the wires. And I know I'm not alone in not wanting to see the wires. So,
no.
Just, be aware. That was, and he's worked here for 2 years with me. Like, he knows I don't like wires.
Surprised.
I was a little surprised too. So he had to come back and he had to fix that. But, just, be aware of these little things, because if you can get ahead of it, like, hey, just want to know exactly where you're going to put my thermostat. Oh, it has to be here. Could it be here? Do we have any play? Could it be over a few inches? Because you're kind of eating up into my room. I've seen like spec houses where like the light switch is like, 18 inches into the wall. Like, why is it so far into the wall?
Yeah.
Then it really encroaches. And then you have this, a plate and a switch, and it might not, if you're not painting white, it's going to be very obvious. So just little things like that. When I was looking at Tammy's photo, I was like, gee whiz, she'd have more flexibility and the type of art that she could put there if those things were scooched over to the side where they really should be.
Yeah, but but I get that. I mean, because it's kind of a hassle getting somebody to come over there, and it's expensive to get those things.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're,
I know, but it's frustrating when they do stuff like that. They do some stuff that's just you're just
like, what?
Because they're not designers. So they're going, well, this makes this is where my hand is. So
this is where my hand is.
The switch should be.
Exactly. Yeah, so if you can get ahead of that, or if you're, in a situation where you're making some changes and whatsoever, be super clear in your communication. Like, take a Sharpie and put a little X where you want it, or put a little piece of tape. That's what I should have done. Would have saved me an extra trip.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is it really doesn't, because I've had so much work happen at the farm when I wasn't there. And
your whole stinking house was put in the wrong spot, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Well, the pad wasn't quite exactly where I know. It's like, well, that's not quite right. It was like, why didn't you center it? But where we cleared the trees, that's where this was supposed to go.
Right.
But you're like, you didn't center it. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, it's really best to be there when you get work done. So,
but Tammy, we went a little off road as usual on that. We gave you a little more information than you probably even asked for, but I think you've done an absolutely lovely job. I know Anita agrees. Nice size, really beautiful print. I would just like to see that clock and that piece sort of talking together as one whole thing. So maybe,
I would probably take the clock off and put it somewhere else.
Yeah, I think I might take the clock off too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty. Just put it somewhere else.
Yeah, and if you feel like you see something in that corner, then maybe just put a plant that has some height in there or something like that to fill it in a little bit.
There you go.
Okay, so I hope that helped. Oh my gosh, look, we talked and talked and talked. Okay, so really fun. I thought this, I'm really excited to do Christmas now. I know if anybody follows me on my blog or on my Instagram, you know I'm like a holdout for Thanksgiving and fall. But yeah, it is time. If you haven't started already, I think it's more than time to get rolling on your bins and see what's going on. And let us know what your colors are, whether they be traditional or alternative. We would love to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah. And remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.